Hi, everybody. Hey, criticism, it comes to us all at times, doesn't it? But I found that, when we can actually grow through it, we need to listen, ask questions, and learn how to handle it with some dignity. They knew that they were going to be, as they're going home, they knew that they're going to run a gauntlet of criticism when they got home. And lots of questions coming at them like, where did you go? Why did you do that? Can't you do anything right? You're always doing that. Some of those words were just like outright punches to their soul, while others were like little cat digging its claws and just to let you know it's there. Little scratches, digging deep, cutting into the core. And this was becoming a normal part of their life, poke, poke, prick, prick, punch, punch, and it was wearing them down to where they saw every little comment as a criticism. They were getting like swallowed up by the negativity and they were losing breath. They were going down. It's a sad reality that words can cut you down and little jabs can, take you out. Have you ever been criticized? I'm sure you have. How did you handle it? Most of us don't handle criticism well at all. All often, it's a terrible word to say, one criticism collects with another criticism, and a pattern is formed in our brain. A belief is birthed, that we are a failure and that everything we do is wrong and we have no value. And this can be so hardwired into us that even when someone isn't criticizing us, we still hear it as a criticism. Our negativity bias, in our brain can warp even a kind word into a critique. What can help us to handle that negativity I've found, is to ask some questions that will sort of shift your thinking out of reaction mode and self-condemnation into more of a reflective and a pragmatic mode. So I've got 9 questions that can help you handle criticism. They're interesting questions. So number one question: what was my emotional response to the criticism? How did I react? What was happening inside me? Did I try and bury it? Did I take it in as truth? Did I get angry? Did I get frustrated? Examining your feelings may help you just make sense of it all. Number 2 is, have I clarified the criticism? People say things to us and we respond, but is our response accurate to what was being said? It's often useful to slow the emotion train down and pragmatically ask some clarifying questions. So what I hear you saying is ... Here's another question. Can you explain ... to me further? Would you be able to tell me more about that? Number 3 of these interesting questions. Can you write their criticism down? As part of clarifying the criticism, write it down. Maybe you want to present it back to them. Ask them if you got it right. Create a log of all the criticisms you endure. Put all the criticisms in one place. It may just show some trends, and it may just help to actually have the other person see how many criticisms they're firing at you. Number 4, is there some truth to learn here? Now look, all of us have areas that we could work on, such as not putting your dirty coffee cup in the dishwasher is annoying. Perhaps their criticism has some validity. Proverbs 27 verse 6 says, well meant are the wounds of a friend inflicts, but profuse are the kisses of an enemy. And Proverbs 27:17 says, as iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend. Number 5 of these interesting questions. Is this more about them than it is about me? Are they letting off steam and you happen to get caught in the vent? Perhaps they are a bully, wanting to dominate and control. Maybe there is like a pecking order that they want to maintain, keep you in that place of position. Perhaps they are blaming you for things that are actually their responsibility. Number 6, is there a pattern to their criticism? There may well be a pattern to their fault finding. Every day at a specific time, they always take a shot. Or it might be every week at a certain day or at a certain time, they take a shot. Perhaps it's related to an event. You always forget to buy the peanut butter after you've been shopping. Take note of those. Is there a pattern happening here? Number 7 of these interesting questions. Could a problem-solving sheet help? Look, if there is a regular pattern of criticism, it might be time to pull out a problem-solving sheet and pragmatically work through the issue. Now, if you want to find out more about problem-solving sheets, come over to this blog post and there's a link in the notes. Number 8 of these interesting questions. Is my inner critic the one that is really creating the noise? Now, we all have an inner critic that regularly tells us we're not doing this or that we are not performing up to a certain standard. Comparisonitis also can kick in. You're comparing yourself to someone else. The criticism heard was minor, but it's been amplified by the inner critic. Sometimes you have to tell your inner critic to sit down and shut up, or perhaps more gently, to take a back seat. Number 9, and the last one, has a line of love and respect, which is a boundary, has that been crossed? And if so, what are the consequences for crossing the boundary? Sometimes it just gets too much. A line has been crossed and you need to express a consequence. But when you said that, it crossed a line. The consequence will be ... Look, remember, you can't control how others respond to you. What you can control is how you respond to them. It takes time, reflective time, where you learn to listen to yourself and what gets generated within you when a criticism lands, and then move out from there. Here's some quotes. My favourite quoting person is, of course, Jesus. And he said this: why do you see a speck in your neighbour's eye, but do not notice the log in your own eye? Or how can you say to your neighbour, let me take the speck out of your eye while the log is in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your neighbour's eyes. Matthew 7:3-5. And Dave Riddell, other people's reaction to you might be telling you more about themselves than about you. Don't take it so personally. Proverbs 21:9. It is better to live in a corner of the housetop than in a house shared with a contentious wife. I love that one. The most important thing in communication is hearing what isn't said. Peter Drucker. Lao Tzu, care about what other people think and you'll always be their prisoner. And someone, we don't know who wrote this, but it's a good one. He who throws dirt always loses ground. Abraham Lincoln, we know him, he said he has a right to criticize who has a heart to help. I like that. And the final one from David Riddell. Praise and encouragement is much more effective in changing others' behaviour than is criticism. But which do you use on yourself? That's so wise. Are we criticising ourselves, or are we giving ourselves praise and encouragement? Here's some questions to answer. Can we become hypersensitive to criticism? And so how can we diffuse the hypersensitivity? I think we can really easily, especially if you've been criticised for a long period of time. Who is a stronger voice in your life, the inner critic or an outer critic? Number 3, what example can you think of where criticism was given in a helpful way, and what made it helpful? Hey, I hope you found this post helpful. If you'd like to email me and talk a bit more about it, it's barry@turningthepage.info, and you can come over and read this post over on the blog, turningthepage.info. And I'd like to ask you if you'd like to support what I'm doing here. It's really easy. This costs a bit of money, and I'm always looking for people to help sponsor what we're doing. There's various ways. If you come over to critic.info/support, you'll find different ways such as Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee. Any little bit helps. But especially I'd just like you to be able to get something out of this and maybe share it with someone and grow and develop your own mental health even further and further. Hey, thanks for watching and thanks for listening, and I'll catch up with you next week. Bye.